Oh, hello YouTube and people of the interwebs. Welcome back to another Doctor Who video. Today, in a similar vein to yesterday's video, I'm going to be discussing the possibility of returning companions in the upcoming Centenary special of Doctor Who, due to air sometime later this year. I mean, they said autumn of 2022, so that's probably any time from like September to around November. I mean, maybe they'll go for like an anniversary of Doctor Who air date. It'd be a bit weird because that'd be the 59th anniversary of Doctor Who if you put it on the 23rd of November 2022. But I don't know if they'd do that. I'm thinking maybe they'll go more October-y. Maybe they'll even go with like October 7th as a parallel to the air date that Jodie Whittaker's first ever episode aired. Like, that was October 7th, 2018, so maybe they'll do it like a whole 5 years late thing. Like this, yeah. But I'll stop rambling, because today I am here to discuss the possibility of returning companions, and also the fact that we do actually have confirmation of 2 classic companions. I suppose technically 3 companions, because Kate Stewart, if you count her. But I'll stop waffling. I lied. I'm not going to stop waffling. I'm going to quickly plug our Doctor Who fan film, Echo's End. The sequel to Echo's End is in production now. Subscribe to stay up to date. That's enough waffle, let's dive into the video. As mentioned in yesterday's video, the actress who plays Tegan Jovanka, the air hostess, mouth on legs Doctor Who companion, is Janet Fielding. And Janet Fielding is quite active on the wonderful website Twitter. She said quite a lot of things that imply there are a lot more surprises to be, had and in store. And she's had a particularly interesting interaction with Nicola Bryant, or Brandt, I think it's Bryant, the actress who plays Perry from the classic series, who was another 5th Doctor and 6th Doctor companion. She had an interesting interaction with her on Twitter, which I will discuss in a moment. Showrunner and writer of this Centenary special, Chris Chibnall, has talked about the fact that this particular episode is going to be an episode that pleases all generations. The BBC hired him to write this episode as a feature-length special, not only celebrating Doctor Who, but celebrating the history of the BBC. Now, Doctor Who is the BBC. In fact, I think it's the world's longest running drama, in the form that it's currently in, which is kind of mental. And obviously, because it's been on the air for so long, you've got so many characters, so many different companions that you can bring back and pop into the narrative whenever you please. And with films like Endgame and Infinity War and Spider-Man No Way Home, bringing in all these old characters, throwing a ton of nostalgia at the audience, it makes so much sense for Doctor Who to try and do the same. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a revolutionary concept for Doctor Who to bring back companions. I mean, in 2006, School Reunion, we had Elizabeth Sladen playing Sarah Jane. She returned and then managed to get her own spin-off series. All of these sort of things, like you've got John Barrowman doing Torchwood in that era, that all built up into a Stolen Earth and Journey's End type. Well, it was Stolen Earth and Journey's End in 2008, where you get all the companions and the Doctor fighting the Daleks in a big, massive, climactic special, and I think that's the sort of vibe Chibnall's going for. He's taking elements from all of Who history. I mean, we've got the Daleks, we've got the Master, we've got the Lone Cyberman, we've got the Cybermen, we've probably got the Cybermasters, because that's where the Master, left off at the end of Series 12. We know we've got Kate Stewart and Unit. That probably means the return of Osgood, and I might be being too optimistic here, but Malcolm, who is he was in one episode, but he's so cool. It's just Lee Evans is really funny. Please bring back Malcolm. But yeah, we've got them lot returning. Now we have the confirmation that both Tegan and Ace McShane are going to be in this episode as well, so they're 2 classic companions. Then we know that Yaz and Dan, who are the current companions, are there as well. We also know that Bradley Walsh is definitely coming back, because we saw him at filming, and we saw filming photos of him, etc. And if Bradley Walsh is coming back, unless Tosin Cole was unable to make the filming, or just plain didn't want to, that's probably going to bring along the return of Ryan Sinclair as well. Ryan Sinclair, don't you dare. But that's already an insane, absolutely insane amount of characters, villains, people, etc. And it is a feature-length runtime, so how can there possibly be any more? Well, Janet Fielding said this. the surprises aren't going to run out anytime soon, is basically what we can infer from that. I mean, if they're putting all of this stuff in the trailer, they're probably keeping a lot of stuff secret. They have managed to keep most of this stuff under wraps. Under wraps. There were whisperings of Ace coming back, and I did make a video theorising about it because Sophie Aldred had said in a few interviews a few little things which implied maybe she was coming back. But you've got characters such as Jo Grant, played by Katie Manning, who are just sort of they're canonically here. Jo Grant was in the Sarah Jane Adventures back in I think 2011, and she'd be up for helping the Doctor. If you are going all out and bringing in all of the companions, you might as well bring back as many as possible, and we know Katie Manning would be up for it. She filmed some of the Blu-ray box set trailer thingies in years gone by. Also, quick update on Katie Manning playing Jo Grant again. We have incredibly implied confirmation that Jo Grant is in this special, and here's why. After the Easter special, Sophie Aldred took to Twitter, and Katie Manning responded with a winky face and a kiss. Now, that in and of itself doesn't really mean anything. However, a fan then directly asks her whether she's in the episode, and she responds with these 3 emojis, which, yeah, that makes it seem very much like she's in the episode, or she just enjoys teasing classic Doctor Who fans. But Nicola Bryant as Perry Brown might be making a return, and here's why. Nicola took to Twitter to say how much she's enjoying the fact that classic Doctor Who companions are coming back for the Centenary. A fan then asks her with a little winky face whether or not she'll possibly be coming back. Nicola didn't respond, however Janet Fielding swoops in and says, "Mr. Wait and see." Another fan favourite character who would definitely have made a return would have been Sarah Jane Smith, but sadly, due to the actress Elizabeth Sladen's passing in 2007, this is not going to happen. However, the other characters from the Sarah Jane Adventures, Elizabeth Sladen's spin-off show, who, one of them, Luke, played by Tommy something, he did appear in Doctor Who back in 2008, but I think it is quite possible that Luke, Rani and Clyde, maybe even Maria, will make a reappearance. The character Rani has kept popping up, there's a Doctor Who audio series going on at the moment on BBC Sounds with, Rani in, so maybe she'll be in the actual series as well. I don't know. Maybe it would be too much, though, to bring in the Sarah Jane Adventures crew because, yeah, I don't know, it's already a really packed episode. Also a theory going around online that we're going to get one companion from each sort of decade of the show. So, maybe we'll have Carol Ann Ford reprise her role as Susan, that ticks off the 60s, then the 70s we'll have Katie Manning, that ticks off Jo Grant, then the 80s we'll have Tegan Jovanka, and then the 90s, it was technically the 80s, but just count it as the 90s for the vibe, so we'll have Ace McShane. For the 2000s we'll have possibly, I think, the most likely to come back would be Martha. There have been rumours of Catherine Tate playing Donna coming back for ages. I just think it's incredibly unlikely, and Donna's ending was sort of so perfect you wouldn't really want her to come back. But Martha would come back, and I'm pretty sure canonically she still works for UNIT. So you get Martha, then the 2010s companion would be Yaz, and the 2020s would be Dan. And yeah, that just really nicely brings in a bunch of Doctor Who companions for all to see. So in my previous video I talked about classic Doctors returning. Maybe that's too much of a stretch, but I think this is much more likely. It's much more likely we're going to see a few more companions crop up. Also, K9. K9's an absolute chad. K9's probably going to make a resurgence. I think canonically he was left with Ace or something like that. So maybe we'll see K9 crop up. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below who you'd like to see return in Doctor Who in the Centenary special. Who do you think's likely to return? Who do you think's unlikely? And do you think it is just going to be Tegan and Ace as already implied by the trailer? I don't know. Thank you for watching. Please do remember to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you check out Echo Zen 2 when it eventually comes out. Stay up to date and follow me on Instagram, etc. so you keep up to date with all the latest and greatest Doctor Who news. Thank you for watching. I'll stop rambling and goodbye.